The council meeting back to order, and we'll go to item 4A. This is the term limits for city council members, which is now Charter Ordinance 21 if passed. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Any additional discussion concerning this charter ordinance?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Smith.
I'll make a motion to approve a charter ordinance exempting the city of Bel Aire from KSA 14-103 and 14-204 and amending relevant sections of Charter Ordinance 16 and 17 related to terms of elected officials of the city of Bel Aire, Kansas, Charter Ordinance number 21, and providing substitute and additional provisions for the same and authorize the mayor to sign.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. David. Any additional discussion?
I'm going to state for the record again that I don't think we need either one of these term limits. I've said that every time we've talked about it, even though I've put much effort into getting a good ordinance.
Very good. And I would like to just state for the record that, and I've said this before, is that I think that term limits are important for all elected offices. So that's why I'm asking for these here as well. Any other discussion on this motion? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote. So I'll call the roll. Mr. Greg David,
Aye.
Mr. Tyler Dean,
Aye.
Miss Emily Hamburg,
Aye.
Mr. Justin Smith,
Aye.
and Mr. John Welch.
Nay.
Motion carries 4-1. Moving on to item B, this is the duration of term for the mayor, and it is the draft charter ordinance number 22 that you have in your packet. Any discussion concerning item B?
Mr. Mayor, if I can apologize, the roll call vote we have in here should, for all the charter ordinances, should include the mayor voting. So I would ask that you go back to charter ordinance, to item A and vote as well. And please vote in the other two charter ordinances. I
Thank you.
apologize.
Thank you. Thank you. And I vote affirmative on that. So that motion would carry 5-1.
Is there, and please ask for an objection if there are any objections explicitly to going back and changing the
Are
tally.
there any objections to going back and changing the tally on that vote? All right. Thank you. It appears there are no objections to that. So. All right. Thank you for the clarification, and we will make sure we do that on each of these. Item B is duration of term limits for the mayor. Any discussion concerning item B? If there is none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. David,
a motion to approve a charter ordinance exempting the city of Bel Aire from KSA 14-204 and amending relevant sections of Charter Ordinance 16 and 17 related to terms of elected officials of the city of Bel Aire, Kansas, Charter Ordinance number 22, and providing substitute and additional provisions for the same and authorize the mayor to sign.
I will second.
motion by Mr. David and a second by Mr. Smith. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, I'll call it for a vote. Mr. Greg David,
Aye.
Mr. Tyler Dean,
Aye.
Miss Emily Hamburg,
Aye.
Mr. Justin Smith,
Aye.
Mr. John Welch,
Aye.
and I will vote affirmative as well. So that motion carries 6-0. Moving on to item 6, or item C. This will be term limits for the mayor, and this is Charter Ordinance number 23, if as drafted, if approved. Any discussion concerning item C?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Greg
In an
David.
effort to, in an effort to make the two consistent, I would say that we should strike the more than on the ordinance number 23 in the first sentence to be consistent with ordinance number 21.
Oh, I see. Just before where it says 8 years, strike the words more than
Correct.
for consistency. Is that acceptable?
Yeah, we didn't discuss that on the mayor's term, but
Yeah.
I imagine that it was the same sentiment for the two, so.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Smith,
I move to approve a charter ordinance exempting the city of Bel Air from KSA 14-103 and 14-204 and amending relevant sections of Charter Ordinance 16 and 17 related to terms of elected officials of the city of Bel Aire, Kansas, Charter Ordinance number 23, and providing substitute and additional provisions for the same and authorize the mayor to sign as amended.
I was going to ask you to go ahead and say that as amended. Thank you. I have a motion by Mr. Smith as amended. Any discussion, or do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Hamburg. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Mr. Greg David,
Aye.
Mr. Tyler Dean,
Aye.
Ms. Emily Hamburg,
Aye.
Mr. Justin Smith,
Aye.
Mr. John Welch,
Nay.
and I vote affirmative. So that motion carries 5-1. Other business for the city council? I know of none. Is there any? Okay, do we need an executive session? Is there any reason for an executive session? I know of none. All right. I guess we can move to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor, I motion we adjourn.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Welch and a second by Mr. David. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. City council meeting is adjourned.